I was walking up to my house, and it's a glass door, and I seen a flash of light go off. And when I walked in, Gavin was screaming and crying, and the gun was on the ground.
There's some tissues up there in that box. And did you see where Destiny was at that point?
Yes, she was on the couch.
And was she moving at all?
No.
Did you try to speak with her at all?
Multiple times.
I'm sorry.
Multiple times.
And did she ever respond to you at that point?
No, sir.
Now, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Couldn't fucking believe what was going on.
What did you do?
I got the gun and I took it outside.
Why did you take it outside?
Because I didn't want it to cause any more harm.
And if the video shows that happens at about 8:53:53, 8:53:54, you're calling 911. Do you recall if you were doing those two things at the same time?
Yes, I was.
And after you put the gun outside and came back in, what did you do?
I got a towel and put it on Destiny.
And when the officer, you saw the video when the first officer arrived, Officer Cummings, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he testified that when he walked in the door, that you were sitting on the couch near Destiny on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Who were you talking to on the phone at that moment?
The 911 dispatcher.
Do you remember what the last words you said to the 911 dispatcher were?
They're here.
So when he walked in and saw you on the phone, that's when you're telling 911 that they're here.
Correct.
Now, we're going to talk about that 911 call. When you made that 911 call, did you know Destiny had been shot?
Yes.
And you told them that a black male, unknown black male, entered the door and fired a shot and shot Destiny.
Yes.
Why did you tell that story to 911?
Because I didn't want Gavin to live with the fact that he had shot his sister for the rest of his life.
The story that an unidentified black male had shot from the door was not true, was it?
No, sir.
And you remember the interview that you had that night later on, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Mr. Riddle telling you that saying a black man shot your child was racist? He thought that was racist.
Yes, sir.
You're racist.
No, sir.
Callie is your boyfriend, right?
Yes.
What race is Callie?
African American.
What race is Destiny's father, Antoine?
The same.
And Gavin's dad, African American?
Yes, sir.
And let's be honest, your two children, what race are they?
They are biracial, white, African American.
And let's talk for a minute about this gun outside the house. You did put the gun outside the house, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the objection to? Don't leave.
Now, you've heard this testimony about this gun and where it was outside your house, right?
Yes.
I'm going to show you a picture of that gun, which is in a collective exhibit 26, and ask you, do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Okay. Is that where you put that gun?
Yes.
Beside that shrub?
Yes.
Was it your intention to hide the gun under the shrub?
No.
Are there other shrubs back further along that wall?
Yes.
How long after the shot did you take that gun out of the house?
Not very long at all.
Have you ever been at the presence of a shooting before?
No.
As you were on the phone with 911, how would you describe your mental state?
Not very well at all.
Would you say you were thinking clearly?
No, sir.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what happens right after the police show up. You heard Officer Cummings testify. Is that how Destiny got out of the house?
I didn't realize that till that video.
You didn't realize that he's the one who carried her out? And there was no ambulance at that point, was there?
No, sir.
And what were you dealing with at that moment?
Gavin.
Were you allowed to go to the hospital with her in the ambulance?
No, sir.
Why not? Do you know?
The cops insisted that they would take me.
And eventually did they?
Yes, sir.
So you heard that statement, the recording of the statement with Investigator Riddle at the house, right?
Yes.
And it was right after that it was after that that you were taken to the hospital.
Yes.
The state just went through a bunch of phone calls and texts that you had made from your phone that evening.
Yes.
And we've talked, and you saw the video, and it's about 9:21:30 that you leave the house in the police car.
Correct.
And there are several calls at 9:03 and 9:21 to Tab.
Yes.
Who is Tab?
One of my friends,
And her first name is?
Tabitha.
Okay, thus Tab. Why were you calling Tab at that point?
To get her to come and get Gavin.
And you called Callie, right?
Correct.
And on one of those text messages, you also asked him to go get the gun.
Yes.
But what were you calling him about?
I wanted him to come to the hospital.
So that's who you were talking to in the back of the squad car.
Yes.
Do you know what time it was when you got to the hospital?
No, sir.
And did you see Destiny at the hospital?
No.
But at some time, a doctor came out and talked to you.
Yes.
And what did that doctor tell you?
That my daughter had passed away.
And you heard Officer Wardlaw today testify about your reaction.
Yes.
Was he accurate?
No.
What was your reaction when the doctor told you that your daughter had died?
I kept on telling her there's no way that it could be true.
Did you believe at that point that it could be true?
No.
How would you describe your mental state in that moment?
I was in hell.